What if a single sentence could capture a lifetime of fame, fear, or regret?
I am Heath.
Some whispered a name. Others made peace with their fate. And a few left us with words so eerie, they still echo through time.
And he sort of said, Katie, look, it'll be fine, I just need to get some sleep. Well, they are really the last words we ever heard from Heath.
From cryptic messages to heartbreaking farewells, these aren't just final moments. They're chilling reminders of how even the brightest stars can fade into darkness. Brace yourself for the haunting last words of celebrities. In the mangled tunnel beneath Paris, Diana didn't die on impact. Confused and injured, she surveyed the devastation and asked, "My God, what happened?"
Qui reprenait conscience à ce moment-là et qui me regarde et me dit, ben voilà, oh my God, what's happened?
This line, raw, unadorned, feels both like pure shock and a haunting question for the decades of scrutiny that shaped her life. Only minutes earlier, cameras had chased her car relentlessly, a symbol of the unyielding media attention she endured. The crash tore a pulmonary vein, a rare and fatal injury the doctor said a seatbelt might have prevented. Diana's last words weren't poetic or prophetic. They were honest and desperate in the face of brutal reality. The tragedy wasn't just the accident, but the years leading to it. A nation continues to wrestle with what really happened to Diana and what faded away long before her final night. On the set of Twilight Zone the movie in 1982, Vic Morrow voiced unease about the nighttime shoot's dangerous setup: pyrotechnics, hovering helicopter, and 2 child actors in his arms. "I've got to be crazy to do this shot. I should have asked for a double," he muttered moments before the helicopter lost control and the rotor killed Morrow and both children. Long known for roles that balance tough grit with vulnerability, Morrow's instincts proved tragically prescient at the very end. His last words weren't grand or poetic. They were reluctant, honest, and full of human caution. The resulting accident led to legal battles and changed industry safety standards forever. In the quiet darkness before dawn on June 25, 2009, Michael Jackson was desperate for rest. He asked his doctor for milk, his nickname for propofol, a surgical anesthetic, and pleaded, please give me some milk so that I can sleep." The phrase is childlike and out of place, a gentle euphemism shielding the grim reality of his dire insomnia and drug dependence. Jackson's last decade was beset by spectacle, scandal, and personal isolation. His planned This Is It concerts promised a new chapter. Instead, his life ended privately, echoing the exhaustion and pain that had become routine. On May 17, 2017, after a Soundgarden concert in Detroit, Chris Cornell spoke by phone to his wife, Vicky. He reassured her, "I'm just tired," before hanging up. Minutes later, Cornell was found in his hotel room, died by suicide. Cornell's music, Black Hole Sun, Fell on Black Days, was famed for its raw emotion, capturing struggle and introspection. His brief last words are painful in their simplicity, masking deeper agony behind fatigue. Fans now hear Cornell's catalog through the lens of exhaustion and sadness. His tragic end highlighted the silent battles waged by artists whose public power conceals private vulnerability.
This is the highest point of my entire professional life. To the Screen Actors Guild, to each and every one of you, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Just days from her 100th birthday, Betty White's final word was a name: Alan. Alan Ludden, her beloved husband who died more than 40 years earlier, was her companion through laughter and life. After decades of TV reinvention, from witty Sue Ann to her mischievous late-career persona, she departed with a gentle call across the years. White's legacy was her warmth, timing, and ability to make any audience feel included. Her final syllable, simple and loving, fits that spirit perfectly. In a Los Angeles hospital room in 1998, Frank Sinatra uttered, "I'm losing." Without fanfare, the legendary singer recognized the end of his long journey. It wasn't despair, but a fighter's tally at the close of battle. After decades of turning phrases into magic, Sinatra's last was direct and poignant. "I'm losing" stings with its clarity, framing the acceptance of fate by a man who bent the world to his rhythm, but who ultimately couldn't outlast mortality.
This is the new MacBook Air, and you can get a feel for how thin it is.
In his final moments, surrounded by family, Steve Jobs did not deliver a manifesto or a scripted speech. Facing the unknown, he looked past those gathered and simply repeated, "Oh wow, oh wow, oh wow," interpreted by many. It could signal morphine's haze, cosmic awe, or a last flicker of gratitude.
His dying words were, and this is reported by his sister, "Oh wow, oh wow, oh wow."
For years, Jobs transformed the way we interacted with technology, making every product launch an event of ritual and anticipation. Yet, at his own curtain call, the words he left were emotional. His last utterance reveals a man accepting mystery, reminding us that for all our innovations, some experiences defy explanation. Struggling with illness, James Brown spent his final days pushing through pain for the promise of another performance. Scheduled for a New Year's Eve gig despite pneumonia, he told his manager on Christmas morning, "I'm going away tonight."
The last time I spoke to him, and he was going to be brand new, smile forever, he was really excited about it.
The godfather of soul finally admitted defeat in plain, heartfelt words. Brown lived on the edge, his career shaped by boundless energy, signature capes, and raw emotion. Even as addiction and hardship mounted, he never missed a beat. But the brevity of his final phrase combined both theatricality and reality. There would be no encore, no last cape toss. Brown's simple announcement marks the end not only of a career, but of a lifetime performance, revealing the quiet humanity beneath a legend's persona. Known for his wild energy and comedic brilliance, John Belushi was only 33 when he died, but his lifestyle had aged him prematurely. In his last moments after taking a speedball with his friend and dealer, Belushi said, "Just don't leave me alone." She did, and he died shortly after. The starkness of his final request is what haunts. It's not a punchline, but a vulnerable plea for comfort and company. Belushi's comedy thrived on chaos, but in the end, that same chaos became unmanageable. His death blurred the line between revelry and pain, demonstrating how fame could mask urgent needs. The words he left strip away myth, exposing a man desperate not for laughter but for presence. In New York, the winter of 2008 found a restless Heath Ledger struggling with insomnia and complicated by prescription medications. His Oscar-worthy portrayal of the Joker is promising a leap in his career, but off-screen, his exhaustion was growing dangerous. His sister Katie warned him about mixing too many drugs, but Ledger shrugged it off, saying, "Katie, I'll be fine."
And he sort of said, Katie, look, it'll be fine, I just need to get some sleep. Well, they are really the last words we ever heard from Heath, or at least the last words that Kate heard.
The reassurance would prove heartbreakingly inaccurate. Ledger had already confided his need for rest, insisting that sleep would fix everything. After his death, toxicology revealed a cocktail of sleeping pills, painkillers, and anti-anxiety drugs in his system. His last words echoed a denial that many understand. The certainty that things won't go wrong, spoken just before they do. Ledger's performances embraced risk and psychological intensity. Sadly, his final phrase was a refusal to acknowledge risk in his own life. When the lights fade and the credits roll, it's rarely the exact final phrase that stays. It's the unmistakable humanity behind it. A single joke in a moment of pain. A quiet, "Goodbye, kid." A simple request for milk that carried darker meaning. Last words don't define a whole life, but they refract it, offering fragments that can shift how we see a song, a performance, or a public persona. If you value deep dives that move past the headlines into the heartbeat of real moments, subscribe for more. And let me know, which farewell gave you new perspective on an icon's life, work, or legacy?